What's going on, guys? My name is Steve. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Today we're going to be reading to Rugby for Beginners, a guide to the rules of rugby union. This will actually be the second video I'm watching about rugby. The first video I ever saw about rugby was probably about 2 weeks ago, and in that video it was a compilation of a bunch of rugby red cards. So, it's a bunch of hard tackles and things like that. I really thought that was a really cool video, and it definitely gave me a general idea of what rugby looked like when it was being played. But I still don't really know the ins and outs of rugby. I don't really know the rules. And a lot of people were recommending this particular video in the comments of that video, telling me that this would be a good video to watch to really learn kind of what rugby is about, how the rules are set and things like that. So anyways, guys, I don't know what to expect. This is basically the first time that I'm ever really learning truly what rugby is about. So let's just go ahead and dive in and check out Rugby for Beginners, a guide to the rules of rugby union.
Rugby is one of England's most popular sports and is played by people of all ages, shapes and sizes, male and female. This animation teaches you about the main laws of rugby so you can have more fun watching or playing this great game. You play rugby in a jersey, shorts and boots with studs.
Boots with studs?
Mouth guard.
By boots with studs, I'm guessing she means cleats. Is that correct?
To protect your teeth. The ball is an oval shape and looks a bit like an egg. Because rugby originated in England, there are a lot of English expressions. There are two versions of rugby.
Oh yeah,
Rugby Union and Rugby League.
Okay.
This film is about Rugby Union, the most popular version of rugby around the world. The rugby pitch is about the same size as a football pitch.
By the way, what is the difference exactly between Rugby Union and Rugby League? I know a few people were talking about that in the comment section of the last video, but I'm still not exactly sure what all the differences are between the two.
On the pitch, there are a number of lines. We start from the halfway line. From this line, the game is started or restarted after a score. Next is the 10-meter line. After the kickoff, the ball must cross this line. Then there is the 22-meter line. Next is the try line. Behind this line, you can score a try by touching the ball down.
So a try is basically, is that the equivalent of a touchdown in American football? I think that's basically what this is, if I'm not mistaken.
On the try line are the rugby posts, 2 vertical posts and a crossbar. The last line is the dead ball line and marks the end of the field. On the sides, you find the 5 meters line and the 15 meters line. During a line out, the players must stay between these lines. A game is 2 halves of 40 minutes and has a half-time break of about 10 minutes. A rugby
80
team
minutes of
has
playing.
15 players. 8 of them are called the forwards. These guys form the scrum and line out and do the more heavy work. Next you have 7 players called the backs, and they do most of the fast running. The scrum half connects the forwards and the backs.
I'm already seeing quite a few similarities to American football, and from what I understand, American football may have originated from rugby. If so, that would make a lot of sense.
The last man is the fullback. You play rugby with your hands and feet. Most of the time you carry the ball in your hands. But rugby is a team sport, so you pass the ball to your teammates. When you pass, you are only allowed to pass backwards. You do this mainly by an underhand throw across the body.
You can only pass backwards? Okay.
But if you wish to, you can pass overhand too. You may pass as much as you want. If you decide to kick the ball, you may do so, usually to gain territory.
So the only way you can move the ball kind of forward to another player is to kick it to that player, is that correct? But if you're passing, you have to pass it backwards? I'm not sure if I understood that correctly. I'll probably go back and check that out again, or I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments if that's correct as well. Lean backwards. No kidding. Interesting. Okay. Why is that? Why can you only pass backwards?
Points. The most important way is to score a try. You score a try when you place the ball on the ground, on or behind the try line of your opposition. The result is 5 points.
That's basically like a touchdown, okay.
Because you scored a try, your team may also attempt to kick the ball from the ground, but it must carry between the posts and above the crossbar. This is called a conversion and awards your team an extra 2 points. So together, you score 7 points. Should the referee award you a penalty kick, your team can choose to restart the game, kick for a line out, or kick the ball between the posts. If you kick between the posts and score, you get 3 points. You can also get points at any time during the game by scoring a drop goal, when you intentionally drop the ball in front of you and kick it immediately after it hits the ground. As with a conversion
at any time during the game you can do that?
Penalty, it must travel between the posts. This also wins your team 3 points.
Okay. Scrum.
Suppose you throw the ball forwards, or you drop the ball and it bounces forward. In both cases, the referee will decide that a scrum must be formed. A scrum is a restart after a foul, where the ball travels forward from the hand. The forwards of both teams set in a specific formation and set against each other, like you can see in this view from above. Next, the scrum half will roll the ball straight into the middle of the scrum, and both teams are allowed to contest for the ball by pushing and using their feet after the ball has entered the scrum to move the ball backwards. While the ball is in the scrum, you are not allowed to touch it with your hands. When the ball comes out of the scrum, it is usually the scrum half who will pass it to one of the waiting players, and the next attack will start. If the ball leaves the field of play because it's kicked out, or because a player with the ball is tackled and falls across the touchline, or the foot of a player who is holding the ball touches the touchline, the game will be restarted with a line-out. To form a line-out, the forwards of both teams will stand in separate lines between the 5 and 15-metre lines. Next, the ball will be thrown straight in between the two lines by the team in possession. The player who can jump the highest, and he may be lifted by his teammates, may catch the ball or tap it to his scrum half. With this ball possession, they can start to attack again.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so he, on that line out, when he catches this, he has to throw it before he hits the ground. Is that correct? Yeah, okay, I think that's the case.
The unique thing about rugby is that you can stop players by tackling, but can only tackle a player who is in possession of the ball. You're only allowed to use your hands, arms and body. You can grab the man with the ball everywhere except his neck and head.
So that would be a red card, like I was watching on the previous video, if you were, say, to kick the man, or if you were to, what did she say, grab his neck, I think. That would probably be a red card, right?
You are not allowed to kick him or tackle him while he's in the air. If you do, the referee will send you off the field immediately by issuing a yellow or red card.
Oh, a yellow or red card.
The most common way to tackle is using the shoulder and arms, targeting an opposition player below the waist so he falls to the ground.
Okay. Ruck and maul.
During the game, you will often see two situations, a ruck and maul. But what are these? Suppose a player carrying the ball makes contact with a player who wants to tackle him. But instead of falling on the ground, they keep standing up. Immediately, teammates of both teams will join this formation to compete for the ball, which will be somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
This formation is called a maul. The man with the ball will try to turn his back to his opponents and make the ball available for his teammates. If a maul takes too long, the referee will award a scrum in favour of the team moving forward. A ruck is formed after the man with the ball is tackled and the players fall on the ground. During this situation, two very important rules come into play. The man who made the tackle must let go of the tackled player, and the man who is tackled must release the ball immediately. Players of both teams will bind as a unit with each other over the ball group and compete to win the ball with their feet and pushing back the opposing players.
Offside.
There are several ways to be offside. One of the most common ways is during a maul, when players are competing to get possession of the ball or to stop them all being driven towards the try line. The offside line starts at the heel of the foot of the last person in the maul and runs across the field from touchline to touchline. No one can enter the maul unless they do so from behind that player's foot. Though rugby is a physical and sometimes tough sport, a rugby player always respects his opponent and the referee.
Yeah,
whatever the referee decides.
That was a definite popular comment, I guess you could say, in the previous video. A lot of people were bringing up how much respect the players had for their opponents and the referees and whatnot. And it was I don't know, it was something that a lot of people brought up in the comments section.
You will never contest their decision or risk being penalised. After every game, you pay your respects to your opponents and the referee.
That's good, man. I like that.
Applauding them when they leave the field. Respect and sportsmanship are two of the most important values of Rugby Union.
I like that a lot.
Hopefully, with this explanation, you will enjoy watching rugby even more. But if you are a boy or a girl and want to play rugby yourself, go to englandrugby.com and find a rugby club near you. It's possible to start playing rugby whether you're 5, 15, 25 or 35. It's fun for all ages. Your local club will train you to become a rugby player so you can play safe and ensure you enjoy this fantastic game.
All right, guys. I thought this was a really excellent explanation for how to play rugby or the rules of rugby. I can definitely see why a ton of you recommended I check this one out. All in all, I definitely learned quite a bit about how rugby operates here. You know, just like the previous video where I watched the rugby red cards, this is definitely a game I think I'd really enjoy, you know, watching, and I definitely want to continue learning more about it. You know, like I said, this is only the second video I've ever seen any type of play or anything with rugby. That rugby red card video was the first time I've literally ever seen rugby played in any way. I'd heard about rugby before, but I don't know anyone who plays rugby, and I don't know where I would actually go to see rugby being played near me. That said, this is something I will definitely explore more. I'll probably go back and watch this video again because I can kind of, understand the rules a little bit better because, this is something for me to truly deeply understand them. I'm going to need to kind of, rehash it a little bit to kind of, get it in my head. But overall, guys, rugby looks like a lot of fun. I've never really been able to get into American football. It's just never been a sport that I particularly enjoyed. I think I said this in my last video that when it comes to American football, I don't have an NFL team. I never watch the NFL. I'll watch my favorite college team maybe once or twice a year play football, but it's just not my favorite sport. But rugby, I don't know. There's something about it that I really like more than American football. I think maybe the possibility of it being you're not wearing a bunch of helmets and stuff, it seems a little bit more exciting to me. All in all, I just what I've seen so far, I think it's a sport that I could definitely get into, and I'm going to try to get into it. I'm gonna actually at some point I'm gonna actually sit down and watch a full game. It's going to be very interesting. But first, I want to know that I fully understand the rules. So like I said, I'll probably go back through this video again. And I think, I had some other people in the comment section of that same video recommend some other types of videos similar to this to truly understand the rules. So I might watch one or two of those as well to see if I get anything new from it. But yeah, guys, I thought this was a really great video. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow me on my journey to discover my British and Irish ancestry. Until next time, guys, peace.